everyone, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. Welcome to my first travel vlog. So if you watched my last vlog, this looks familiar. This is like the same day as I was doing my ending to that one. But I am going on a plane tomorrow. I'm traveling for a couple of days to look at the area we're moving to try and hopefully have some sort of living situation figured out when we get there. And if nothing else, then to look at the area and kind of narrow down the areas that we prefer to live in, and just have an idea of things to do with my boys when we get there. So I'm very excited. I talked about it. I have 2 young children, and so this is sort of like a mini vacation. I love them so much, truly, but I just sometimes it's nice to have a break. So I'm excited to explore on my own and be able to just kind of figure that out. But I will have a lot of downtime at night. I'm honestly not a good night driver. My eyes are not the best, so I just try to avoid night driving. So I will be doing as much as I can and then just hanging out at home, trying some food. And during the day, I'll just be traveling around, exploring, looking at houses and all those sorts of things. I definitely plan on seeing a couple of local bookstores just because that's my thing, and there's a lot of really cool ones that are supposed to be in the area. So I'm just gonna explore and I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. I anticipate being able to read. I'm really not gonna bring more than 1 physical book, probably, just because I can't get it on my Kindle and I just really want to read it right now. I have quite a few on my Kindle that I can read or get through my Libby, so I'm still somewhat deciding what I want to do. I think that I have The Herb Witch's Apprentice. I have a couple of horror books. Getting out of my having to only read cozy stuff right now. But I also might try Beaches, Bungalows, and Murder, I think. I don't really know what it is, by Tonya Katz. I tried to do the audiobook on that one and I didn't really like the audio that much, but I think I will like the actual book. So I don't know. This could really change. The only one I know for sure that I want to read is The First Bird by Greg Beck. It's one of my adventure thriller books. It's the first in the Matt Kearns series. He's been in the Alex Hunter series, but this is the first I've read of his individual book, and I think I probably will get through quite a lot of it tomorrow. I have a very early day and I kind of get in right around the time that I'll be just eating dinner. I have a pretty long layover, so I anticipate walking to my gate and just reading. Honestly, I don't like to wander too far from my gate. I'm a little bit of an airport dad when it comes to that. I think I'll read this, or I also, I just have a lot on my Kindle Unlimited, and I can get really easily through Libby. By now you've watched my July TBR, hopefully, but most of the books that I'm reading this month and probably into August are all on my e-reader, just because I'm not going to have access to my physical books. I don't know. I will take you along and I will tell you what books I'm reading as I'm going, but mostly it's just going to be kind of wandering, listening to some audiobooks, and just exploring. The next time you'll see me will be tomorrow morning, very early. So let's go on an adventure.
It is the end of the day, so the amount of trees here is insane. Fall is going to be crazy, I think. The humidity, though, is something to get used to. I'm in Arizona, and I was used to like 117. Like, that could happen often, and that's why I don't wear flip-flops now, just because I learned if your feet come out of them, you like burn your feet on the ground. But here, the humidity, that's different. I'm gonna have to learn how to take care of my hair. I'm a bit of a hot mess right now, but it is what it is. I got some food, good old Waffle House, because it's late and I just wanted some bacon. But otherwise, I am settled in. I have a big day ahead of me tomorrow, looking at the area and investigating where we want to be. So in a couple weeks, we're still getting the logistics down. We will be here and we can narrow it down, or if I find a place we can stay tomorrow, that would be ideal. But in the plane, you saw me reading. I had a pretty long layover, and in the plane, I just was really engrossed in my book. I started my first flight. I read the first 10 pages waiting for my first flight, and I finished it today. So when I have dedicated reading time, I can read a book pretty fast. This one was 429 pages. It's The First Bird by Greg Beck. I did decide that I wanted to read that today, and it really kept me engrossed the whole time, which is great. It was very busy just because people are doing a lot of traveling right now, so it was good to just kind of keep me distracted. Overall, this is an adventure thriller, and it's the first in the Matt Kern series, as I said in my intro, and he is a linguist, but he studies original language. I think he's technically called a paleolinguist. So he studies ancient languages and he learns them. And so he's brought in because an anthropologist brought something back from the Amazon, and he died before being able to explain where he found it, and lots of people are getting sick. And so there's technically 3 parts to this book. And the first is them all getting there, and it's very much kind of feels like Amazonia almost by James Rollins. I'm probably 60% of the way through that book. I just had to put it down for a little bit. He's going with the CDC, and he's meeting up with another team that's going out there. In adventure thrillers, they always bring together different scientists or anthropologists, and they just bring them together to solve this mystery. And so in this one, they're all going there and they're investigating some lost tribes. And I think it was researched really well. He does a lot of the threats of the jungle, and when he got there, it was very interesting. And then there's the second part that's almost like Journey to the Center of the Earth. All the while, things are going kind of crazy back in the real world, not in the Amazon. They're kind of in their own little bubble where the story takes place, but you get snippets that the sickness that was going on in the beginning of the book, why all of them were sent out there in the first place, is getting worse. And then it changes to almost an entirely different book in the third part, and it just goes crazy. I don't want to give anything away, but it was very different than I thought it was going to be, in a good way. It was kind of all just a lot of different genres that I read almost mashed together, and so I really, really thought it was fun. I didn't really get bored ever. I still kept wanting to pick up my book, and it was a great way to kill time. I have never been away from my kids like this long, or my husband even, since I've known him. I think we've spent 1 or 2 evenings apart, and that was separated out. So this is going to be a challenge. I'm definitely a little homesick, and I just want to cuddle my babies, even though it's good to have some quiet time, I guess. It's just hard for me right now. So having good books are going to be essential, but I really, really did enjoy this. I want to read the next book, The Book of the Dead, and his books are kind of harder to find. I don't think he'd be considered an indie author. It's momentum books, but they're not found in mainstream bookstores usually. There are a lot of used bookstores around here though, and I really have been wanting to check out one in particular. So I'm going to, probably not tomorrow, but the day after, just kind of depending on the schedule. I'm here for a reason, so I will be prioritizing all of that. But if we have downtime, then I'm going to go investigate, and maybe I can find the second one in the series, which is Book of the Dead. Otherwise, I'm just going to go investigate the areas and drive around, and I will take you with me. I have a new like car mount that I got because I didn't know what kind of vehicle I would get, and I just wanted to make sure that I could do hands-free navigation, but I can flip it around before I start driving and like show you some of like the area. There's a lot of rivers, a lot of trees. It's just very different for me, and I'm having fun with it. It's probably normal for everyone that lives in an area like this, but I like it. So I'm excited. Sorry, I'm getting progressively worse as the night goes on with my sickness. I'm hoping I wake up tomorrow and it's better, but I did stop and get medicine. Finished this one probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 minutes into my second flight. So I started a different book on my Kindle, and that is, you would have seen this. I talked about this in my July TBR, but Bed, Breakfast, and Bones. It's a Ravenwood Cove mystery. It's a new cozy mystery series that I think I saw on Stuff Your Kindle Day or something like that, and it looked interesting to me. And it has a lot of really great reviews, so I just wanted to read another sort of mystery. I was thinking about reading a horror book, but there's only so much you can do. There's only so much I can handle right now because this book got really crazy at the end and a tad bit gory. His books are always, they're not bad, but they're a little bit gory sometimes. So I wanted something a little bit more lighthearted. And I have a lot of books on my Kindle, so I might be switching around as this goes. But I am on chapter 13. It says I'm 37% of the way through this book. So I don't think it's too long, but so far it is following our main character who has inherited an inn from her aunt and uncle, and there's some mysteries to why they weren't there at the time. I don't really want to give anything away because it's kind of fun and it adds another element to it, but it's a very historical inn in this like beach town, and she goes there trying to restore it. She's kind of facing some challenges from some of the townspeople, but everyone else is really, really supportive of her. So she has that juxtaposition, and then they find a person buried in her garden, and there might be some connection to her family members, and she's trying to work to not only clear her name but get this inn up and running. And I just like that aspect of, you know, doing all of this work, and it's just stuff that I've done because I like to DIY stuff, so I kind of like seeing another character do that sort of thing. So I'm curious as to see where this one goes. I think it's kind of a short little read. It's nothing too challenging, but so far it kept my interest when I was in the plane, and I was progressively not feeling very well, so that's good. But I might pick up and put down books, you know, as I'm sitting here. I might watch a couple of things tonight, but mostly I'm just going to take a shower and try to get some sleep before tomorrow because I need to keep my energy up. Otherwise, I will take you around tomorrow, show you some food and coffee and some reading. Hello everyone, good morning. I hope you can hear me. I'm trying to figure out the audio on this car, and I forgot my tripod inside, but I am heading off to Homes today. I will try to figure out trying to film some things as I'm walking around, but today is very much going to a lot of places to look and explore the area, so I'm very excited. I have figured out Apple CarPlay in this car, trying to mess with it for like 10 minutes, but I will probably be listening to an audiobook. And I've had Gideon the Ninth on hold at my Libby for a while. I have it in my library and I've been wanting to read it for a while. I also have Magic and Mole Man, and so I don't really know. I might switch back and forth between them just depending. But Gideon the Ninth is supposed to be like a really fun sci-fi, a little bit of a horror element, and it's been on my list for a while. And then here there is a book club that does sci-fi and fantasy, and then they also have like a romance book club at this really neat bookstore that I want to try and get to while I'm here. But they have a book club once a month, and Gideon the Ninth is their pick for July, I believe. I don't know, maybe it was June and I missed it, but I am hoping to join that book club once I arrive here
so I'm gonna try to read that sooner rather than later. I've loved all of the book picks that they've had. I follow them on social media a little bit, and so I've just been wanting to start that, and I'm hoping that I can make some book friends by joining that book club, but we will see. I'm always really shy at those types of things, so I'm hoping I like it. But I'm gonna take you along with me as I go. I don't like filming in the car, so I'm parked right now, but I will try to film as I can when it's safe. And again, I'm sick. I got medicine in me right now. I'm hoping that it improves, but yeah, I woke up not feeling 110% this morning. Alright, so it is finally the end of the day. I just got out of Books A Million, and she told me that it's the only one left in the state, which is crazy. They closed the only other one, and that's just insane to me. But I did get a couple of books there. I've never been to one. I've always lived on the west side of the United States, so they just don't have one of those bookstores here. But so I was really excited to check it out, and it's a really fun bookstore. I think it's really nice. I think the bargain books in the back are definitely the best deal. They were having like a buy one get one 50% off sale on some paperbacks, not all of them. So I kind of picked and did a little pick and choose. But I did get, I think I showed them, but I did get The Angel Maker by Alex North and Sundial by Katrina Ward, I think is how you pronounce her name. I've heard really good things about Sundial and her writing. I think this is kind of like a mother-daughter horror in the desert. Maybe some cryptid, I really don't know. I have avoided spoilers with that. And I really heard good things about Alex North's book. There was a couple of other books. I was thinking about getting Bookshops and Bone Dust, which I might regret. But I haven't read Legends and Lattes. I've read one of Alex North's book. I'm spacing the name right now. I'm just really tired. It's incredibly hot. Like, again, I grew up in Arizona, but the humidity is crazy. Look at my hair. I started the day curled. So if anybody has fine hair, please let me know how you deal with humidity, because this is insane. But otherwise, you know, I had a great day and I really liked those books. I got these little things for my boys because I've been gone and they're doing really great. They're playing with their dad and my mom. They're just kind of being a little handful. They're used to mom, and so we're having some challenges with that, but they're handling it. Today I looked at a lot of houses, like 15 or something. And so it's just partly just like learning the area and seeing what we like and what we can get. This market is a little insane, but we're very fortunate we can go and look around. But we found some really great houses and it's been fun to meet people. I went to a couple of parks in between and got some lunch. So I am tired. I am still sick. Dayquil can only do so much. So I got some waters. I really like the area. Tomorrow, I don't think I'm just driving around. I'm just going to like explore. I have some family that's driving through from a wedding, and we just happen to be crossing paths at the same time, which is really fun. So we're gonna meet up tomorrow and go to lunch, and I'm gonna see a friend that did move to the area before we did, so it's gonna be a good day. I intend to go to a used bookstore that's massive, apparently. I'm really excited about that. That's why I did also try to control my buying here, because I brought a very small bag. I have my backpack and then like a weekender bag because I didn't want to like overpack, and now I'm getting books, so I just need to be strategic. I want a donut though, and so I'm gonna go get a donut because in my area we don't have Dunkin', and I don't like any other donut place that they have, and I want a donut, at least to snack on in the morning. So I'm gonna go get that. And tonight I'm probably just going to relax in my hotel room tonight. I am exhausted, take a shower, read a book. I have been listening to Gideon the Ninth all day, and so I think I'm, how far? I'm about an hour in. I'm listening to it on audio, and I'm really liking it. The world building is interesting. The fact that the 9 houses do different things, and the magic that Harrow's able to do with the necromancy is creepy but interesting. So I don't know. I'm still like on the fence. It's cool, but like I'm gonna wait until I finish the end of that book to see if I want to get any of the others in the series. But so far it's interesting. She's very irreverent, Gideon, and I like the fact that she's a swords woman, but I don't really know where it's going, and it's kind of hard to follow when you're listening to it. So I've had to go back and listen to certain parts. We'll see what I listen to tomorrow. I'll let you know. But I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna eat a donut, and then I'll tell you what I'm reading. Alright, next day, I'm in my car, and I slept in just a little bit today because yesterday was a lot. Did a lot of stuff, and I didn't realize how tired I was until I went home and sat down and went to bed. So I didn't really get any reading done last night. I was hoping I would. So today I want to go check out the local used bookstore. I'm also going to be doing a lot of driving around to the area that we're looking at living in, just to check out the schools and check out things that are in the area. I just want to explore and get a really good feel. So when we get here, it's a little bit of an easier adjustment, I guess. And we're working with our like realtors and everything, just trying to figure out, because we found a couple of houses that we would be totally happy with. Well, 3 actually, like I would be totally fine with taking. So I'm not trying to be too picky. The market is just really weird, and we just want something that will be really great for our family. So just tooling around. At one point today, my family members are actually, as I said, going from driving through, so we're gonna meet up for coffee for like 30 minutes, just kind of say hi before they get back up on the road. Then I'm probably going to dinner with a friend that's in the area, so that would be really nice, just kind of like a girls girls' night. As for my hair, I put it up today and I actually had these all curled. And then I walked to the car. I literally walked from that building to the car. I have no idea how I'm gonna make this work, but yeah, I'm probably just gonna have straight hair for a while, especially during the summer, so it is what it is. As for the books, I have my Libby app. It's really cool because it pulls up. I have Magic and Mole Men started. I also have Gideon the Ninth started. Bone Shard Daughter, which I also want to read in July, also just popped up. So I've got to get through all of those. And I don't know, I might finish Magic and Mole Men just because it's a little, I'm going to be, you know, like driving and looking around and having to try to focus on Gideon the Ninth, like as the story with all the world building is a little challenging. So probably Magic and Mole Men. And I want a physical book that's a little bit different. So I picked up The Angel Maker from Alex North. I have it in my backpack over here. I'm bringing like my valuables in my backpack and just kind of taking them around with me, just because I'm a little paranoid about that. But just in case I like stop somewhere and I want to sit down and read for a little bit, I will be reading that. So I will take you along with me. Alright, so that was crazy. I am so excited. As I said, navigate that, but it is very busy. And so I'm very excited. I don't know if it has to do with it being more of a holiday weekend, but it's very fun. I have a lot of books that I could have gotten. I really could have done some damage, but I have a small suitcase and I already have a bunch of books, so it's gonna get heavy. It's gonna get heavy for me because I was like, I'm just gonna bring a small case, I'll carry it, I won't have to deal with rolling it everywhere. Should have gotten the rolling one because this is about to be heavy on my shoulders, but yeah, I just really wanted some of these. There's some books that had multiple copies, so like when I come back, I'll probably get that, but I have I got 5 books, so not too bad, not too bad. The first one is one I've read before, Subhuman by Michael McBride. I just don't have it in my collection. He really only makes these, I don't think they print them in larger like copies, so I'm just gonna add this because I know I'll reread this book. I really enjoyed this one. This is the first in the Unit 51 series. I got a lot of adventure thrillers. I don't know, I've just been in that mood. And the big fantasy books that I wanted, there was quite a few of them. They're just really big. They're like big ones. So maybe they'll be here when I'm back in like a week or two, but I'm trying not to buy stuff. I might end up having some physical books at wherever we're staying. We're still arranging that. A little stressful. But I also got Haunted Purgatory. This is a horror book by Lee Mountford. I read the first in the Haunted series and it had one of the scariest scenes that I've experienced in a book. Still makes me wonky about keeping blinds open at night. Yeah, it's a really great series. So I need the second one in the series, but I was really surprised to find this one. So I'll just probably buy the second one. But this one actually, this is the third book, and it actually follows directly after the first one. So I don't think I technically need to read the second one in order to read this one. think the second one is like it jumps back and does like a prequel thing. But I think he has 9 books in the series, and I don't know if they're all interconnected. I think he just does different haunting stories. If somebody's read it, correct me if I'm wrong. But I watch a lot of people that read almost like exclusively horror books or exclusively horror thriller, and they all really love this series, and I get it. After I read the first one, I really enjoyed it. And the next one is Matt Riley. So since I've done my adventure thriller video a little bit ago, it's kind of niche. Not everyone really likes it, but I had some people request it, and I didn't talk about this author because I had never read this author. But since then, I'd heard quite a bit about him between Ice Station, which is always on lists for like Arctic, I wouldn't say horror, but Arctic thriller. And they had quite a few copies of it, but it was in the really small paperback, and it's hard for me to do that with my eyes. I got Subhuman because I really love it, but I want to I try to find books in hardback first and then the big paperbacks. So I just got this one. This one's Temple. I feel like it reminds me a little bit of the first bird that I just read because it happens like in the jungle. He's really popular from Ice Station. So I got Temple, and I don't know if I'll read this one first or try to find Ice Station. I have Ice Station, I think through Kindle Unlimited or my Libby. Like, I know they're available. It's available somewhere because I've looked it up before. So I don't know. I might start with that one or start with this one. We will see. I haven't decided yet. The next book I got, which I haven't heard about, is David Goleman. And I think it has to do with like Vlad the Impaler. I don't really know. It just sounds interesting. It talks about history where there was like an army defeated. There's new evidence to show that there was an animal involved. And then they find records of it, and then it takes them into, I think it has to do with vampires or something vampire-ish. I don't know. It sounds very interesting, and it was they had a separate adventure thriller section. So I spent quite a bit of time in that one, but I went all over the place. And the last book that I got is another Alex North book. I've been really lucking out with the Alex North book. This is the book that got me interested in his writing. He writes a lot of, I don't really know if they're supernatural, but they're definitely like horror, have to do with, maybe it's supernatural or is it just like a serial killer kind of thing. And that's not always a genre that I look for, but I am really excited to read this one. So I don't know if I'll read this one or Angel Maker first. Probably this one, just because I've been wanting to read it for such a long time. So I just have to decide which one to read first. Because I know tomorrow, I don't have quite as long of a travel day tomorrow. I kind of start midday and then end up in the evening. I probably will be able to finish, maybe not one book, but most of one. So I have to kind of decide. For now, though, I am going to go investigate the area we're planning on living in, taking videos and seeing like where the schools are, kind of everything. I just like to do my research, be diligent and make sure we're really going to like it. So I'll just take you around with me and videotape some things.
All right, I'm back in my hotel room for just a little bit. I'm going to go to they call it a tavern, but it's just like this restaurant on the lake, I believe. And it's actually the same one that I went yesterday for my lunch, but it was just pretty, and I think it's a great way to end off my trip. But I met with my stepfather and drank some coffee, found this really great coffee shop, and it was really nice and comfy. My voice is going a little bit, so I've just been checking on our house, this one here, just dealing with like the relocation stuff. So I've been kind of all over the place this afternoon. So I probably try to come home and read a little bit just to decompress and see what I want to focus on tomorrow. I basically have to be at the airport around lunch, so the morning I might get up early and explore just a little bit more, just meander my way back to the airport and read there when I get there probably. I think the most reading that I'm going to get done is just on the plane for this trip, because I did listen to a little bit more of Gideon the Ninth. I decided to listen to that one today. And it's actually not that hard to follow. I really liked it, but I'm only about 10% of the way through that book. So I will probably be listening to it more when I get home, just to finish that one, just because I waited for it. It finally came up, and I just want to get that done and return, because there's some people waiting for the book, and I don't want to like hold it from them. So I will be focusing on that. Maybe if I have to walk a lot at the airport, I'll put my headphone in and on one side and listen to it. And when I get back, I will be packing a lot, so I will be listening to it then. Otherwise, I'll just be walking around and filming a little bit more of the area. I really hope I still have a voice when I talk to my friend, so I can actually like chat. I'm gonna have a lot of water. All right, my voice is crazy today. I've been talking so much the last couple of days. I am just losing it, honestly, so I've just been really quiet this morning. But I have to do this while I'm packing, just because I'm a little late. I've been editing my July TBR video today because I just spaced doing it. I didn't have enough time. Things are a little crazy, so sorry if this month my videos are a little late, but it just is what it is. I'd rather get it out when I like it than not at all. So I have to figure out how to pick all these books in my bag. So I need to figure out which books I'm taking in. Well, I'm carrying both of these bags on the airplane. I'm all over the place today. This is my bag. This is what I brought. I was like super proud of myself. I just got everything in here, and then I went and bought books. So anyway, it'll be overhead, and I don't like getting up in the middle of a flight and grabbing things. So I need to decide, at least on the plane. My first flight is like an hour something minutes, and my second flight is longer. It's like almost 4 hours. I'm going through Chicago this time, which is new. I've traveled a lot, but I don't think I've ever been through the Chicago. I'm hoping I don't have to run, because this is gonna suck with my books I got. But it's worth it. It's okay. I think I put books down here. Now I have to decide which ones I want to read. I don't think I want to read Sundial right now. I think I want to read this Carpathia one. It's Subhuman, so I don't need to read that. I'm not going to read the Haunted book. I think I might want to read Temple. I still like that Bed, Breakfast, and Bones book, but when I'm on a plane, I just want to kill time, and having a thriller or something that's a little bit more exciting and engaging makes the time go by a lot faster. This first Bird book that I read just made the time kind of fly. Right, I had an issue with my phone, so I spent a little bit. I don't know where I was, but I think that I'm going to probably focus on Temple, maybe Angel Maker. And I put these two in my book bag because I'll have that at my feet. I don't think Whisper Man right now. Maybe Death on Tap there. I might try. I'll probably start a book right when I get to the airport. Oh my god. I might have messed up with that. This is going to be heavy. Should have brought a wheelie. Oh, I messed up. Messed up with these books. We're going to make it work though. That's not too bad. Worth it. It's worth it. I'm gonna get going in the car, try to get some stuff and check out here. Yeah, I messed up. That is so heavy. I just went from my hotel to my car to try and go to the airport, and it is very heavy. I messed up a little bit. I might have to transfer 1 or 2 books and try to fit it into my backpack to just kind of even it out. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. For sure, but you know what? I love those books, so that's fine. We'll just figure it out. Okay, so I'm just gonna head to the airport, fill up my car, and I will see you next time, probably when I'm through security, trying to like figure out a book. I don't have enough time to go to the store, so we're just gonna have to deal with it.
All right, so this is, I would say the next day, but it is actually a couple of weeks after I got back home. I got back home all right. I definitely had to run at Chicago airport, and it was a mistake to have that many books. I don't regret getting them because I have already read quite a few of them since then. But yeah, it was a panic. I kind of had to stand up with a lot of other people that were going to mix their connections and just run, and I am not an active person, so that was a lot. It was a lot. But I got there, and I did finish Temple when I was on the plane. So that was by Matt Riley. That book was insane. Matt Riley is definitely a great adventure thriller author, but he reads somewhat like a movie, like an action movie, like a ridiculous action movie. Like if you watched Sahara with Matthew McConaughey, or I wouldn't say Mission Impossible, it is that level of ridiculous, honestly, but it is not quite as like spy for sure. But it follows our main character, who is a professor, and he gets brought by DARPA really into the jungle to find this secret area, and there's a lot to it. And the beginning, it was rather straightforward. They're going to this temple, and they're conscripted, and there's like all these like military people there, and I thought it was very interesting. There was a time skip, like it kind of jumped back to something that happened during Incan times, which is very interesting to me, and I really had a lot of fun with that. And then there was a kind of creature feature going on, and then it just went crazy. Like, I didn't expect it. There was so many different enemies, and there was like this insane, I don't want to give things away, but I'll just say there was like this insane like boat chase thing that went on, and I was like, that is ridiculous. But I had so much fun with it. It kept me so engaged during the planes, especially when we had all these delays. and it's just like people were getting super frustrated on the plane, and I was just chilling reading my book. As long as like I was a little bit nervous about missing my connection because my children would be upset because they were going to be at the airport to help pick me up. But otherwise, it was just a fun time. It is insanely ridiculous, some of it. But he does a really great job at describing it. I've read a couple of books where the action scenes were just straight up ridiculous. They were just really hard to follow. So I really did have a lot of fun with this. I think I'm going to read Ice Station soon. But overall, I think that I read some really great books. I had some great experiences, and I'm very excited for a new chapter. My backgrounds will be interesting for a while, just so you know, because I have no idea how long it's going to take for us to get into wherever we're living. And then I did have to get rid of some bookshelves because they weren't going to survive being moved. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit, but I should be hopefully getting into my fall stuff soon. Sorry for the gap in these videos. It was really hard for me to sit down and like try to edit anything while we were on the road. The Wi-Fi was not great, and I was just really tired. So hopefully I should be getting back to a bit more regular videos soon. Look out for a couple of videos next week, and my July wrap up will be a little bit late just because my brother is also having his wedding soon. So I will be going to that next week, and I will be a little bit late filming it, but not too bad. If you stuck around for all of this, thank you. I always appreciate it. Let me know some things maybe you want to see from me video-wise or in the area. And again, thank you. I always appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Bye.